Long before the term cougar entered our vocabulary, Hollywood's golden age was quietly being redefined by women who refused to follow society's rigid rules. These were actresses whose talent and beauty graced the silver screen, yet off-camera, they were defying expectations in the most personal of arenas, their love lives. Many of them deliberately chose significantly younger partners, challenging the industry, the media, and the public's assumptions about age, romance, and female power. These weren't fleeting flings or scandals designed to shock. These were calculated choices, strategic, empowering, and often transformative. While studios worked tirelessly to craft their public images as wholesome or respectable matriarchs, behind closed doors, these women were pioneering a form of romantic independence that few dared to attempt. Why younger men? For many, it wasn't just about attraction. After years under the control of older, influential men, studio heads, directors, producers, they sought partnerships that respected their success rather than threatened it. They wanted companionship that complemented, not constrained, their professional and personal power. And in many cases, these relationships endured for decades, revealing a side of Hollywood rarely acknowledged: that of women navigating romance on their own terms. Let's explore 10 legendary leading ladies whose love lives with younger men were as bold and boundary-breaking as their careers. If this kind of story touches your heart, if you're someone who cares about truth, responsibility, and speaking up for the voiceless, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who should hear it. Let's get started. 1. Gloria Swanson, the silent queen who rewrote the rules. Gloria Swanson was a powerhouse of the silent film era, commanding salaries and creative control that few could rival. Her professional dominance extended to her personal life, where she consistently chose partners younger than herself. In 1945, at age 46, Swanson began a relationship with 32-year-old William Dufty, a writer and journalist who would later become her sixth husband. 14 years separated them, a bold choice even by Hollywood standards. Swanson made no effort to hide the age gap. She was unapologetically herself, embracing attraction to men unburdened by traditional ideas about successful women. In her 1980 autobiography, Swanson on Swanson, she explained, "I've always been drawn to younger men because they aren't burdened by outdated ideas about how a successful woman should behave. The men my age wanted me to shrink myself to soothe their egos. Why would I do that when I could have partners who celebrated rather than resented my achievements?" Their partnership was intellectual as well as romantic, with Dufty collaborating on her autobiography and health advocacy. Their union lasted until Swanson's death in 1983. Through Swanson, we see how age gap relationships could challenge stereotypes. Here was a woman defining love, not by social expectation, but by mutual respect and shared purpose. 2. Joan Crawford, beyond Mommy Dearest. Joan Crawford's relationships with younger men exposed a side of her that contrasted sharply with her public persona. By her late 40s, Crawford consistently chose partners 10 to 20 years her junior. Her most notable age gap romance began in 1955 with 38-year-old Alfred Steele, a Pepsi executive. At 49, Crawford navigated the scrutiny of Hollywood gossip, which suggested women seeking younger men were desperate or vain. In reality, her choice reflected deliberate empowerment. Crawford once told a friend, "I've spent my entire life surrounded by powerful older men telling me what to do. Studio heads, directors, producers. In my personal life, at least, I prefer being the one with experience and authority. The younger men in my life appreciate rather than resent that dynamic." Her relationship with Steele coincided with a professional transition. As her leading lady status began to wane, this partnership was also strategic, helping her maintain influence and personal fulfillment beyond the screen. Crawford's story illustrates how romantic choices can intersect with professional agency, offering a blueprint for women seeking equality in love and work. 3. Marlene Dietrich, the international icon who defied categories. Marlene Dietrich's romantic life was as sophisticated and unconventional as her screen persona. With significant relationships with both men and women, one consistent pattern emerged: she favored younger male partners. In 1942, at age 40, Dietrich began a passionate affair with 27-year-old French actor Jean Gabin. 13 years separated them, a fact that generated industry buzz, yet Dietrich made no attempt to hide it. Her European upbringing shaped her approach to age and relationships. In Germanic and French circles, a woman taking the initiative with a younger man was not scandalous but admired. Dietrich's letters to Ernest Hemingway reveal her reasoning. The young men in my life never knew me when I was struggling or uncertain. They encounter me as I am now, confident, established, financially independent. This creates a dynamic where my accomplishments are simply accepted facts rather than intimidating obstacles. For Dietrich, love was a statement. By openly defying American conventions, she redefined what it meant for a woman, particularly one aging gracefully in Hollywood, to pursue desire without compromise. 4. Mae West, the pioneer who made desire public. Mae West was fearless, unapologetic, and strategic. She built her public persona around her love for younger men, making it a hallmark of her identity. In 1954, at 61, she became involved with 32-year-old Chester Ravensky, known as Paul Novak. Their 29-year age difference sparked criticism, yet the relationship lasted until West's death in 1980, 26 years. Unlike others who might have hidden such affairs, West used humor to deflect criticism. I like a man who's good but not too good. For the good die young and I hate a dead one. And a man has $100 and you leave him with $2. That's subtraction. West viewed her relationships as partnerships, mutually beneficial and intellectually stimulating. As her manager recalled, West approached love like her business ventures, seeking growth, potential, and energy. Her life is a testament to strategic romance and self-empowerment, long before society would label such choices acceptable. 5. Barbara Stanwyck, the tough-minded star who chose her own path. Barbara Stanwyck's career was defined by intelligence and pragmatism. After her divorce from older husband Frank Fay, she began a pattern of relationships with younger men. In 1936, at 29, she began dating 23-year-old Robert Taylor, who would become her husband. The studio even falsified Taylor's age to minimize the age gap, a clear sign of Hollywood's fear of older women asserting sexual and personal agency. Stanwyck's philosophy was clear. I prefer someone who's still hungry, still building, someone who understands that my work is as important as his. It's not about looking for someone to control. It's about finding someone who doesn't need to control you. Her choices reflected a broader defiance of Hollywood norms, proving that women could pursue love, career, and independence simultaneously. 6. Claudette Colbert, elegance behind closed doors. Claudette Colbert's sophisticated public image concealed a private life that often defied convention. In 1935, at age 38, she married 28-year-old Dr. Joel Pressman. Despite the decade gap, she maintained authority and control in their partnership, supported by her substantial career achievements. Colbert told a friend, "There's something liberating about being with a man who knew me only as an established star. With Joel, I've always been exactly who I am. Successful, decisive, and in command of my life." Their 33-year marriage illustrates how mutual respect and clear boundaries can create lasting love, regardless of societal expectations. 7. Norma Shearer, Hollywood royalty reimagined. After the death of her husband and MGM production chief Irving Thalberg, Norma Shearer sought personal happiness outside the Hollywood spotlight. In 1942, at age 40, she married 27-year-old ski instructor Martin Arridge. Shearer explained, "The men my age in this town are either power brokers seeking trophies or former suitors who now find me intimidating. Martin sees me simply as the woman I am now, not as an extension of my late husband's position." Their 41-year marriage highlights how age gap relationships can prioritize genuine emotional connection over societal or professional pressures. 8. Joan Blondell, pragmatic, independent, and relentlessly honest. Joan Blondell grew up in vaudeville and carried that work ethic into her Hollywood career. After divorces from older men, She married 31-year-old producer Mike Todd at age 41. Their decade-long age gap reflected practicality as much as desire. Blondell valued partners with energy, optimism, and shared ambition. Blondell once noted, "The men my age seem tired, jaded, and entitled. They've had their adventures, and now want someone to make them comfortable. I'm not interested in that role." Her relationships were extensions of her independent spirit, proving that love and agency could coexist in a woman's later life. 9. Ruth Chatterton, the intellectual who chose youth. Ruth Chatterton was a multi-talented trailblazer, actress, novelist, aviator. Her romantic choices reflected her intellectual curiosity. In 1932, at 39, she married 29-year-old George Brent. Later, she engaged in a 19-year age gap relationship with a British businessman, maintaining a pattern of seeking fresh perspectives and dynamic partners. Chatterton reflected, "I choose partners who match my energy and interests regardless of birth date." The calendar seems a particularly arbitrary way to select companions, doesn't it? Her love life mirrored her professional approach, embracing challenge, growth, and curiosity. 10. Tallulah Bankhead, the rebel who broke every rule. Tallulah Bankhead's flamboyant persona and unapologetic bisexuality made her one of Hollywood's most controversial figures. At 49, she became involved with 25-year-old actor Keith Buckley, a 24-year gap. Bankhead introduced him provocatively as "my gorgeous child," turning societal expectations on their head. She explained in her autobiography, "If men can rob the cradle, why can't I like them young, pretty, and not too bright? At least I offer something in return: introductions, education, and access to worlds they couldn't reach otherwise." Despite the public scandal, her relationships were profound, mentoring younger men while sustaining genuine connection, proving power dynamics could be reversed successfully. These actresses' choices were more than personal preferences, they were acts of empowerment. After years under male-dominated control in Hollywood, they sought partners who met them as equals, celebrated their accomplishments, and offered vitality, curiosity, and mutual respect. Age gap relationships in this context were strategic. Younger men encountered these women as already powerful, established figures, avoiding the resentment or intimidation older male partners might feel. These partnerships weren't desperation, they were deliberate, pragmatic, and often enduring. By rejecting traditional limitations, these women reshaped possibilities for female romance. They normalized relationships that prioritized mutual respect, shared values, and emotional compatibility over arbitrary societal rules. Their legacy is clear. Love and agency are not determined by age, but by intelligence, respect, and courage.